mansion was built in 1917 for Charles Boettcher as his summer home and seasonal getaway, and he enjoyed it for many years and later gave it to his granddaughter Charlene, who lived here and raised her family in the 1960s, and upon her death in the early 70s, she willed it to Jefferson County. I know that people who have worked here, as well as vendors who have come here for different functions, they have reported seeing apparitions. And several people have seen the same thing more than once. It's always a woman, and she ranges in age from a child to an older woman, and she dresses in everything from children's clothing to old-fashioned dresses. Well, the latest thing that I heard today from someone who works here, but he witnessed this more than a year ago, was he says he saw more than once a girl who was maybe 8 to 11 years old, wearing kind of an old-fashioned dress, and he saw her in the what used to be the kitchen area. And it turns out, he did not know this at the time, it's the same girl that grew up to be Charlene Breeden, and we have a picture of her upstairs.
My mission is to discover why we have paranormal activity, what's causing it, why it happens.
The most haunted location I've investigated was my home. I've had scratches on my arm, 3 scratches going down my arm, jewelry thrown at me, quarters thrown at me, knocks all night, all hours of the night, and my kids have witnessed stuff. So my home, I would say, is my most scariest.
Set up the EM pump over here, so it gives out an electromagnetic field. You can see that there's a light blinking on top of it. Sometimes that just helps the spirit use its energy so it can speak to us or possibly manifest. I also got a gadget here. It's got a dictionary in it, and it'll speak in an electronic way. So we'll get this going. We got our recorders going. Can that person go through and tell us your message? Tom, it's Tom again. Okay, I got a male voice.
Can you repeat that?
So last September, our part-time custodian came in early one morning to clean the mansion before anyone else was here. And she cleaned the men's room that we're about to go into. And then she went downstairs to the women's restroom that is directly below it. And while she was downstairs, she heard the doors swing shut from the men's room, which, by the way, doesn't swing shut. It has a rubber kickstand that keeps it open. And then she heard one of the urinals flush. And she was convinced that someone was in the building, so she called out, is anyone here? But there was no one here, and she was actually quite spooked. And that's the same room, this bathroom, where we heard a whistle last September when we investigated.
Please come to it to speak to it. I might not hear you now, but I could hear you later. So if you have a message to tell us,
Okay.
There's somebody talking.
News?
Muse.
Sounds like somebody.
Okay, 2 times in recent history, someone who works here has been standing in this hallway right about where I am, and she has seen the same woman in the same clothing, which is a long white gown, almost like a nightgown with a high neck, in what used to be the original kitchen.
Gown.
Gown?
Yes, you had a white gown on. If this is the lady we're talking to that's been seen.
I want to know more about your gown. I feel like something on my arm. Can you guys see anything? Right around. that a common noise?
What is that? Have you ever heard that sound before?
I've never heard it.
Are you trying to communicate with us? Terror.
I feel something on my arm again. Do you,
You
guys,
suffer?
Can you see that? Do you have the light on my arm right in this area?
Terror, suffer, human, it just said. Okay, I got chills over here.
I'm feeling cold right here. It's really cold right here.
Did you suffer?
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I can put my hand into that.
Do you know where you are?
Okay, is that this
What makes that noise?
Have you heard that before?
Reverend?
Never heard that before?
Do you need a reverend? No? What? Do you need help? That's strange stuff.